Hello there, my name is Mark Allard. You may know me as Mark Allard-Will if you're a comic book fan, as I write for comic books under the pen name Mark Allard-Will, as just mentioned. And you're here with me watching this video because I'm announcing to you what I'm going to do to raise funds for charity this Christmas season. So, I am going to ride a 24-hour ride, or at least attempt to, on Zwift. So I am an avid cyclist, I love cycling, it's my favourite sport. And I'm going to attempt to cycle the width of central Saskatchewan, so that is 647 kilometres within a 24-hour period, beginning at 9 AM Saskatchewan time on December 17th. I'm doing it in the name of 4 charities: the Lighthouse Supported Living, Food Banks Canada, Worth Hats Counselling Fund, and Inspire. So that's the 4 charities I'm raising funds for. Why am I doing it? Because those charities have been affected pretty hard by 2020. I mean, it's affected us all, but it's important that you hear from them. And there is a description in the campaign description text below that will tell you exactly how each of them have been affected. And I would advise you to read the campaign description text in full so you can see some important disclaimers, as well as seeing how those charities have been affected. But the next person you're going to hear from is going to be Anna Pasick from the Lighthouse Supported Living here in Saskatoon, and she's going to tell you about some of the ways that the Lighthouse has been affected in 2020 and how your money can help. The Lighthouse Supported Living is a charity that seeks to help the homeless of Saskatoon by feeding them, clothing them, and giving them temporary shelter. Alright, so thanks very much. Anna Pasick up next. How has 2020 affected the Lighthouse?
So this year has been unlike any other year at the Lighthouse. With the onset of COVID, our homeless and very vulnerable population were greatly affected by having lots of issues that come up with not having a home but needing to isolate. So we were had to do a lot of workarounds to find some places for people to be able to socially distance, and so the Lighthouse spread all of our beds around our campus, so that we ended up using every room in our building. So we have our donation room that is now converted to a dorm. So we haven't had a lot of space to accept donated items, but we have definitely continued to keep that program going. But the biggest hit has been for our folks that we serve. They've had a lot of struggles with, the mental health aspect of being isolated, and just the change in this environment in our city has been difficult for the average person. And when you're struggling just to find your next meal every day, it makes it even more difficult, because they've had to isolate as well. They've had to do some real workarounds to try and find food, to find shelter. And the Lighthouse has been working with city organizations to be able to support our most vulnerable, whether they're staying with us or not. We've been working with the Health Authority and the Ministry of Social Services to do our best to take care of our most vulnerable people.
Thank you so much. And with that in mind, how will the money that people donate through this campaign, or directly to the Lighthouse even, aid and help to hopefully bring about change to those issues you've seen in 2020?
Well, one of the big areas that our funding goes to right now is for COVID supports, and the biggest support that we need is staffing support, because we've got so many staff that have either had to isolate or did isolate, and many weren't able to come back to work because of other health issues that put them at risk of getting COVID and having some serious side effects. So we have been really searching for funding for staffing, but the other thing that we also have been using any extra money we get is to keep our staff and residents safe. So we've had to purchased different food packaging so that we can hand deliver meals as opposed to having our communal cafeteria style meals. So that also affects our folks that we serve. It affects their mental health, having to stay in their rooms so long, and to so we try to also provide what we call psychosocial supports. So things that help them to be happy staying in their room. For some, we've been able to purchase them a TV so they can stay and stay safely in their room. For some, we have purchased coffee kettles so that they can have a coffee in their room. Some of our rooms don't have kitchens, so anything that really would help them to feel comfortable and safe and happy. So our extra money has been going to support that. And so far we've been doing really well, keeping our folks safe and healthy. We even had an outbreak recently and just opened our doors yesterday. That was on December 7th we opened our doors. So since our outbreak. But that's what all the extra funds have been supporting. We've had to do extra cleaning and hire extra janitors, and specialized cleaning equipment has helped as well. If we weren't in a COVID time, the donations that we receive go towards funding our programs that we don't get contract funding for. We have a few programs that we don't have the Ministry of Social Services or the Ministry of Health's funding for. And those would be the programs that we would divert the donations to.
Thank you, Anna. And if you're wondering how you can keep up with my results, once you have donated, you will be in for the updates on this page. And I will update you with my Strava profile. And once I finish the ride, hopefully if I complete it on December 18th, I will upload the Strava results from my Strava account to an update for the GoFundMe page here, where you will be able to see what I achieved, and hopefully if I pass that threshold of cycling the width of central Saskatchewan. Alright, so if you believe I can do this, if you believe in the charities that I have chosen to represent, and you've read that campaign description, then please do go ahead and donate. I realise it is the Christmas season, and I realise it's tough for everyone, especially in 2020. But if you can spare even just a couple of dollars, the price of a coffee, then please go ahead and do that. Thank you.